What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? The YouTube gods have blessed me with yet another new band, and that band's name is called Hanislip. I guess they just released a new single about 3 weeks ago, and I will tell you guys that this single has been sitting in my feed for exactly 3 weeks. They have been all over my feed. Their thumbnails have been all over my feed. They have some very sultry thumbnails, if you would like to imagine. And I finally decided, you know what? Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. So this is Hanislip and their new single Away. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Let me fill up the screen real quick. There we go. Their jumpsuits remind me of like Slipknot jumpsuits. He's just going ham. You guys might not know about this. You've seen the memes on like Facebook, that's like warning your childhood has faded away, and then it goes through like all like the early 2000s like new metal bands, like video games, midnight releases, Green Monster, shit like that, and then like it's got like this like new metal backing track to it. I'm like 90% certain that this song in particular is the backing track for that. I could be wrong, but it sounds very similar. I love how like I don't want to say how old it feels, but like how the camera is zooming in and stuff. It doesn't feel like modern camera zoom, and like the effects and everything feel like they're straight out of like a early 2000s, like late 90s music video, damn near. Like look at that with the shake. I'm a really big fan of his vocals with like the it's like it's just like sitting in my dad's car when I was like 8 years old and listening to him like put CD after CD into his like Geo Prism. If any of you guys know what a Geo Prism is, dear God. It gives me his vocals like give me just like the fry screaming gives me just a little taste of Corn. I'm just another victim of your life. And then like the electronic sounds immediately after like the heavy portion just remind me of like Linkin Park, like coming out of their choruses, or like at the beginning of the song they always had like these weird electronic sounds that kind of went in with them. their bassist is getting sexy with that fucking bass. He's like sitting over there, like absolutely grooving. I love, I'm sorry to pause in the middle of like the heavy portion, but I love how they have like the kind of like the soft ghostly like vocals going at the same time that he's doing like the fry screaming, so they kind of like layer on top of each other and give it like a three-dimensional feel, at least for me. You don't believe in real time. I'm just another victim of your life. I'm just another victim of your life. The drums are coming in. I'm just another victim of your life. All right. That was Hanislip, ladies and gentlemen. That was Hanislip-Away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hanislip and their newest single, Away. The song came out 3 weeks ago. I had to like actually look it up because I forgot the name of the songs. But a lot of the like electronic effects that were in here reminded me of Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory album. Specifically the songs Running Away and Crawling. Got like these weird like bubbly like water going down the sink kind of electronic effects to them, and that's kind of like what it put me in mind of. And then with like the fry screaming, I got corn, but like significantly softer corn, but it still gave me like that corn feel. And then like some Deftones, and I would even say like it gives me just like a tiny bit of Muse, because I've been reacting to Muse. I think I've done like 3 Muse reactions, and like the softer vocals and stuff kind of puts me in mind of that a little bit. Most of all, I feel like this song could go on Need for Speed Underground, and if I never would have known that this was a modern band, I would have always thought that it had a place on there, like with what it had, Static X, Rob Zombie, Korn, I believe it had a couple of others, but I can't remember. But like that like nostalgic feel of sitting in front of like a CRT TV and playing it on my GameCube and my PlayStation 2. It's something that you can't get in like the modern day. I feel like this particular sound is like it's dying. And music always continues to evolve, right? And music has to continue to evolve to move to the next step, because if everything continues to sound the same, then it's just same stagnant music, right? And a lot of the bands that formulated this sound from like the late 90s, early 2000s, every day they're getting closer and closer to being to that point where like either they're gonna split up or they're gonna retire, or they're moving on to a different sound to evolve with the current times, because I feel like this is time locked in like a nostalgic area, right? It's not something that a lot of bands are doing, and there are not a lot of bands currently that are going for that signature nu metal sound. And this is honestly the first time that I've heard of Hanislip. I don't know if all of their stuff sounds like this, but this is like stepping into a time capsule from when I was like 8 years old. This is what music sounded like. between Linkin Park, Korn, Stained, um, and a handful of other bands that I can't pull off the top of my head right now. Static X, Rob Zombie, like it just has that, it has that feel to it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't listen to a lot of that stuff in the current day and age. As I've been honest with everybody, I'm a metalcore guy. That's mainly what I listen to. But even with the music releases that we've been through so far, I think this is the first band that we're seeing is making modern new metal music. And I'm kind of sad that it took this long for them to like actually come across my feed and for me to look into them, because I feel like I would have these guys like on rotation in my Spotify playlist. Overall, the song was fantastic. I love his vocals. His bassist is just getting really sexy with his bass. I don't know if they're in like a long-term relationship or not, but they look like they're a very serious couple. So I'm gonna try not to get in between that. I love the way the drums came through. They were very clear and crisp and reminiscent of, like I said, when I was 8 years old. And then the video shoot style with like the shaky camera and stuff from like before, you know, we had like 4K cameras that could capture like insane shots and stuff like that, right? It brings me back to that, like, you know, day and age where all music videos were like almost kind of cringe when you look back at it now, but they always had like a very particular style to them. So that was definitely super sick to see. Anyway, guys, if you like what Hanislip is putting out and you like their new single Away, I'm going to leave a link to their profile and a link to the song down in the description so you can check it out for yourselves. If you like what your boy's putting out on the channel, hit us with a like, hit us with a sub, join the Banger Plaza family so you can continue to discover new music that I will be pumping out onto the channel on almost a daily consistency, because I have nothing better to do than to serve you guys. That's you know, that's what I want to do, you know, and we will get there. We'll be big YouTuber one day. One day. Not today. Anyway, guys, you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.